بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وأفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا إنك تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا. صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. So last time we talked about the qualities of the letters, and we spent really a lot of time practicing استعلاء, استفال, and practicing الرخاوة and shidda and بينية. So the softness and the hardness and the between the state between them. And we practice Surah Al-Sharh, and we notice how we with letters with sukoon we differentiate between those three situations. Now we are going to move to a new quality or two opposites qualities. The elevated and the lowered according to the direction to the direction of the sound. So in our mouth, the sound either goes down or goes up. And when the sound goes up, we call those letters musta'li, and those letters are thick. And when the sound goes down, we call those letters mustafil. So the tongue is lowered and the letters are light. They are not thick as the other thick letters. And this quality is very, very important, because I have to open the board here, because I told you before we moved to this online courses, I told you that in Arabic, we, in terms of mufakham and muraqqaq, or in terms of the thick letters or the light letters, we don't look at the letters before the letter itself or after the letter itself. We look at the letters themselves. So whereas in other languages we look at the letters before or after. So in a letter like qaf, I'm going to change the font. In a letter like qaf, in the whole situations, sorry?
You sharing your screen?
I'm not sharing the screen. Sorry, I'm gonna start sharing the screen now. Good that you told me. Okay. Yeah, share. Okay. Do you see the screen now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So in a letter like qaf, in fatha and dhamma and kasra, it's mufakham. So even if this letter has kasra, it's still mufakham. Whereas in other languages, as I said, it might be muraqqaq. So we say qi, we don't say ki because it has kasra. So the point that I'm making here, that we look at the letters themselves. We are going to learn now in a minute which letters are mufakham and which letters are muraqqaq. But in general, we look at the letter itself. If the letter is mufakham, it's going to be mufakham in the whole situations. Fatha, dhamma, kasra, and sukun. So in the state of musta'li, or in the elevated according to the direction of the sound, the sounds goes up. The sounds goes up, and we raise, as you see here, we elevated the sound up, and we make the letter thick. The example of that is qaf. We say qa, we notice that the sound goes up. Whereas in other letters like ka, the sound goes down. Ka. Now, that is the theory of the qualities of the letter. But what is the result of sound going up or sound going down. The result that we have mufakham and muraqqaq. Mufakham mean thick and muraqqaq means light. So we have tafkhim. What is tafkhim? Tafkhim in the Arabic language means magnification, like something mufakham, or like sometimes when they speak to a king, they say fakhamit al-malik. Fakhamit, like the high, or the big, or something like that. Like that is in the language. But in the applied definition, in our applied definition, means in Tajweed, it's a fattening that occurs to the letters, so the mouth gets filled with its echo as a result of the narrowing of the throat. So we narrow the throat, and the rise of the sound of the letter up to the dome of the palate, which is the outcome of isti'la. I said here al-musta'li, that is the theory, and the outcome is mufakham. And the tarqiq is the opposite. Tarqiq is the opposite. What is the tarqiq? So we notice here, before I go to the tarqiq, we notice here that we narrow the throat. When I say qa, the place where the letter come from is narrow, and also the furthest part of the tongue goes also up. That is the difference between alif mufakham and muraqqaq. When I say that is alif mufakham, and and also we learned that also with lam as well. When I say la, when you notice what happens in the mouth, I narrow the throat, and I raise the also the edge. Sorry, not the edge. The furthest furthest part of the tongue. Now the tarqiq is the opposite. Tarqiq is a thinning that occurs to the letter, so that the mouth is not filled with its echo, because the throat doesn't get narrow, and the sound of the letter doesn't rise up to the dome of the palate. And tarqiq, it's the outcome of al-istifa. So when I say something like ka, qa, notice the difference between them. Their position, as we know, are very, very similar, because who can reminds me of the position of the qaf and kaf? And they're gonna get chocolate from me. In terms of makhraj, the articulation points of the qaf and kaf, who tells me now? Where is the qaf and where is the kaf? We covered that already.
The qaf, the back of the tongue touches the soft palate.
Very good. The back of the tongue with the soft palate. With the soft part, with the soft part of the palate.
And kaf, it touches like just the hard palate.
Not just the hard palate, the last part of the soft and the hard palate.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the position is very, very similar, but I have in my ear, I have two different sounds. Why? Because of this quality. Because qaf is mufakham, is thick, and kaf is thin, is light. So I say qa, ka, qi, ki. Now we talk qaf and kaf, and they are they come from very, very close positions. Who gives me an example of two letters? They come from the same position. They come from the same position, but they have different sounds because of this quality.
Lam.
Okay.
Is it like Allah and Illah?
Lillah. This is a good example. You gave me this quality with the in the same letter. But my question is, give me two letters which come or which occurs in the same position, but I hear them differently because of this, because they have different qualities.
Or ta.
Very good. Pa and ta. They comes or they occurs in the same position, the tip of the tongue. Pa, ta. Why? Why I hear them differently? Because pa is thick and ta is thin. So what do I do when I make a letter thick, and what do I do when I make a letter thin? Who tells me that?
Position of your tongue.
No, the position is of the tongue is the same. That like the position where I put my tongue is the same. But we explained that in istifal and isti'la. What we do different things in our throat and in our tongue.
Is it the narrowing of the throat for ta?
For all thick letters.
Yeah, all the
Very good. For ta, and with ta, what do I do?
it's opened. More air.
I don't narrow my throat, and I don't I don't raise the back of my tongue. So now we are going to take which letters are. I don't know why he didn't mention the letters now. Which letters? I'm gonna tell you which letters are mufakham and which letters are muraqqaq. Those letters, do you see, or should I make that bigger? Those letters are mufakham. We read that like khussa, ضغط, sorry, ضغط, قيض. This is just like, how do you call that? Like a keyword to memorize the letters. Khussa, kha, sad, ضاد, غين, طاء, قاف, ظاء. Those letters are always in the state of tafkhim, because we have some letters, they might come mufakham, they might come muraqqaq. So we are now going to practice them with the fatha, dhamma, and kasra in the same way that I'm going to do now. Kha, khu, khi, akh, sa, su, si, as, ضا, ضو, ضي, أض, غا, غو, غي, أغ, طا, طو, طي, أط, قا, قو, قي, أق, ظا, ظو, ظي, أظ. Okay, starting with you, Mash.
Ta, khu, khi, aq.
No, not akh, aq, akh.
Akh. Ta, su, si, as. Ta, du, di, ad.
Sorry, I didn't hear you. Would you say it again?
Ta, du, di, ad.
Not ad, ad.
Ad.
Ra,
ru, ri, ag.
Oh.
Ag.
Ag. Ta, tu, ti, at. Ta, qu, qi, aq.
Very good. So when we say qi, we do make this letter thick. We don't say ki.
Dha, du, di, az.
Very good. Qasim.
Kha, khu, khi, akh. Sa, su, si, as.
As.
As. Da, du, di, ad.
Ad.
Ad. Ga, gu, qi, ag.
Ra. It's not ka. Ra, ru, ri, ag.
Ga, gu, qi, ag. طو تو
Guys, if you can use headphones, that would be better for me to hear you, because your microphone is far away from where you're from, like where you're sitting, and that's why I don't like, sometimes I don't hear the letters properly. If you can do that. Are you using a headphone, Qasim?
yes.
Okay.
Okay. Shall I carry on?
Yeah.
Okay. طو تو تي أط قا قو قي أق
Very good.
ظا ثو ذي أز
Al.
أز
Okay, Junaid.
خا خو خي أخ
Don't say
طا
akh, akh, akh.
أخ
We say in Arabic, like when someone says akh, we don't scratch the kha, okay? Because you are scratching the kha when you say akh. It's not akh, it's akh, akh.
أخ
Uh-huh.
صا صو صي أص
Uh-huh.
ضا ضو ضي أض
Ab.
أض
Uh-huh.
غا غو غي أغ
Agh.
أغ
Uh-huh.
طا طو طي أط
Mm-hmm.
قا قو قي أق
Very good.
ضا ضو ضي أض
Al.
أض
Give it more time. Why do we give the dha more time? Why?
خابر
Huh?
خابر
Why?
Oh, is it because is it like last week's lesson?
Yeah, very good. Because it's from the soft letters, and the soft letters in the state of sukoon, they take more time. Look, aqa, al, aqa, al. Okay, Abdurrahman.
خا خو خي أخ صا صو صي أص ضا ضو ضي أض
Don't round your lips.
أض
Huh? It's very good now that you see yourself on the camera.
أض
Uh-huh.
غا غو غي أغ طا طو طي أط
Apo.
أط
Uh-huh.
طو طي أق ضا ضو ضي أض
Don't round your lips.
أض
Uh-huh. Okay, Suleiman.
خا خو خي أخ صا صو صي أص ضا ضو ضي أض
Uh-huh.
غا غو غي أغ
Owl.
أغ
Uh-huh.
طا طو طي أط طا طو طي أط
Apple.
أق
Because you don't have shadda.
أوكي أوكي أق ضا ضو ضي ضا ضو ضي أض
Av.
أض
Very good. Now, so we have خص ضغط قض قض. Those letters are always مفخم. So we have now two letters. They are sometimes مفخم and sometimes مرقق. Ra is very important. Lam is very easy. Okay. Lam is very easy. Why? We learned this rule before. When it's mufakham and when it's muraqqaq, and where?
with Allah is it?
So with lam it's very easy, because in our qira'ah, in Hafs qira'ah, we just have mufakham lam, the thick lam, we just have it in the name of Allah. Somebody is coming. Yeah. So with lam, It's very easy because we have the mufakham lam in our qira'ah just in the name of Allah. When do we have mufakham lam with Allah? What is the rule of that?
Fatha, Dhamma before it.
So if we have fatha or dhamma before it, we make it thick. An example of that, minallah. Look at this lam. Al. Or Rasulullah. Whereas, what is the example of Bismillah? Bismillah. We have lam muraqqaq. It's very easy. In our qira'ah, we don't, in Hafs qira'ah, when I say in our qira'ah, in Hafs qira'ah, we don't make the lam thick in any other words at all, just in Allah. Whereas if it happened to hear something like salatihim, salah, look at this lam. Is it muraqqaq or mufakham? When I say salah,
You said it heavy.
it's mufakham, so it's thick. So in our qira'ah, I don't say salah, whereas in some qira'ahs like Warsh qira'ah, وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ for example, they say عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَهُونَ. They have another rule because some of the Arabs, like at that time, they used to say that, and that's why the Quran has been revealed in this way. For the ruling or the rules of the Ra, we are going to cover them in this book. So we have a lot of rules for the Ra, because sometimes Ra, it's mufakham, like gonna give you an example of that, like Ra, and sometimes it's muraqqaq, ri, Ra, ri, Ra, ri. So we have a lot of rules for that. That's why we are going to cover them when we come to them. Now, the rest of the letters, which states do they have?
Istifal, tarqiq.
So they are always in the state of tarqiq. They are always thin. Which letters do I have, for example?
Alif, ba, ta.
Sorry. I missed something as well. I have also the alif. With the state of alif, in the state of alif might be mufakham and might be muraqqaq. Okay, according to the letter before. The ruling with the letter is very straightforward as well. The ruling of the alif, not hamza, alif, the alif that we agreed on. So if I have a mufakham, a thick letter before the alif is going to follow the thick letter, and the alif is going to be thick. If I have a thin letter, if I have a muraqqaq letter before the alif itself is going to be thin as well. Who can give me an example? You don't need to give me like a Quranic example. You can create an example from your mind.
Qala.
Huh? Oh, let me take just this part. Look at this part of the alif. I don't say qa, qala. Some people, when they read, they say qa, ha. It's not a. It's o. Look at this part. Why? What? Why? Why did I say a? Why?
Because you have the heavy qaf before it.
So I have the heavy qaf before it, and the qaf is always heavy. It's always heavy. Okay. Now,
So
give me.
do you mind saying what would it be with kha?
Pardon?
With kha, how would it? Is it just kha?
It's also khalidina. It's not khalidina. It's khalidina. Okay. Give me now an example of alif, muraqqaq alif.
Narullahi.
Huh?
Narullah.
Narullahi. When I say na, I don't say no. I say na. Why? Because noon, this letter, is always with the state. It's not from this list. It's not from this list. So it's always thin. So I say narullahi. ما أدراك ما يوم الدين. I don't say ma. No, I say ma. Okay, guys. So with alif, the alif follows the letter before. The alif follows the letter before. And I've mentioned to you before, the perfect qurra, the perfect reciters of the Quran who differentiate between, while reciting, differentiate between mufakham and muraqqaq, because sometimes it's really very difficult to differentiate between them. We call that in Arabic takhlis. Like for example, mahdhura. For example, in Quran you have this example, mahdhu. Because you have, look at this example here, mahdhura, and you have also in the same surah, in Surah Isra, mahdhura. Where is this letter? Oh, mahdhura. Inna adhab rabbika kana mahdhura. And the other one, no. وما كان عطاء ربك محظورا إن عذاب ربك كان محذورا. There are two different words. They have two different meaning, and you have also to be careful with them. Why? You have ha before the dha. You have the ha before the dha. It doesn't mean, in terms of the rules, it doesn't mean anything. Whatever do you have apart from alif, lam, ra, whatever you have, you don't look at the letters before the letter itself. So, but our natural understanding, or maybe natural articulation, tend to make the letter after the ha thin, because the ha itself is thin. So I would say mahdhura. No. Or when I say this letter thick, I tend to say the ha also thick. So I have to be careful here. I say, with the first example here, mahdhura, and with the second one, mahdhura. So the point that I want to make here, that you have really to pay attention when you have the thick letters, the thin letters, and also the letters which might take two situations. Now let's carry on with our book. We have we said that we have thick letters. Those letters are always thick. They are always thick. But those letters also, they have in themselves, in terms of fatha, dhamma, kasra, or sukoon, some of them in the state of fatha or dhamma or kasra or sukoon, they have also interpositions. They have positions in themselves. So the mufakham with fatha is thicker than the mufakham with sukoon. All of them are mufakham, all of them are thick, but in between them we have also positions. There are two, I wouldn't say opinion, there are two madhab of tafkhim and tarqiq, like which states of letters are thicker than the others. Today I'm not going to cover the two of them. I'm just gonna cover one of them, which is the easiest one, this one here. So the one with fatha, the letters with fatha, and bear in your mind, I'm just talking about this group of letters, and ra and alif, when they are followed, when they are not followed, when they are how do you say that, interceded? yeah, when they are interceded with thick letters. So the thickest of them in the state of fatha. So you would say kha, sa, da, gha, qa, qa, dha. Now the next position is with dhamma. It's still thick. You have to bear that in your mind. It's still thick, but it's little bit less thicker. I wouldn't say thinner. I would say it's less thicker. I would say khu. Look at the difference between them. Kha, khu, kha, khu. It's little bit. It's very, very, very subtle, but it exists. So I would say khu, su, du, ghu, tu, qu, dhu, ru. Okay? And now the last position is with kasra. With kasra. It's also the same. It's less thicker. It's less thicker than the other states of fatha and dhamma, but it's not thin. It's not thin. And even in here in this poem here, if you read the translation of this poem, it's very nice. He said at the end, فلا يقال إنها رقيقة. You don't say about those letters مفخم, even when they are in the state of kasra. فلا يقال إنها رقيقة. You can't say it's a thin. كضدها تلك هي الحقيقة. Like the opposite is the truth. So in the state of kasra, what happened? In the state of kasra, I still have a thick letter, but its position in the thickness, it's the last position. I would say khi, si. I don't say khi. It's not correct to say khi. Si, di, ri, ti, di. And ri, it's different because when it's with kasra, it's thin. So this group, it's different. But I'm talking about this group here. So now, what do we do with the second letter? In this madhab, in this first school, the second letter follows the letter before. So what does it mean? If I have a maftuh letter, a letter with fatha before the sakin, I'm gonna make that bigger. So which position does this qaf has? Which position does this letter have? First, second, third.
First.
Huh? First position. Why?
Because the letter before it has a fatha on it. Yaqu.
So I say yaqu, yaqta'una. Now, the question is for you, Mash. Which position does the qaf? Look, we have the same qaf. All the qafs are with sukoon. Which position has this letter here?
Second.
Second position. Why?
Because the dhamma before it.
So itself it's with sukoon, and I have a dhamma before it. I say suqnahu. Okay. And Qasim, are you still here? Qasim is not here. Junaid,
I'm here.
where are you? Yeah. Okay. If you guys can keep your camera on, that would be better, because I can see you, unless that your internet is very bad. So Qasim, tell me which position does this qaf have?
Would it be the third position?
Third position. Why?
Because it's got a kasra before it, so would it be
the qaf
less
it's
thick?
with sukoon and the kasra before it. How do I read this word here?
Shiqwatuna.
Shiqo.
Oh, sorry, yes.
Uh-huh.
Shiqwatuna.
شيقو. I don't say شيك. شيك. شيقو. شيقو. شيقوتنا. Okay?
Okay.
Very good. Now, I'm not going to cover that. So that is the summary of the summary of what I told you. So the whole Arabic letters, we divided them into two different group. The elevated, we collect them, or we have this keyword خصة ضغط قض, and they are always heavy. They are always heavy. And the other group is the lowered letter, the rest of the letters, and we divided them also into two groups. Sometimes heavy, alif, lam, and ra, and always light, the rest of the lowered letters. Now, as I said, we are going to have some examples about the alif. I covered that. I covered that as well. So we are going to summarize that. So the alif follows the letter before. The alif follows the letter which precedes it. Concerning tafkhim and tarqiq, it is made heavy after a heavy letter as. And now you are going to read those examples starting from MASH. You see the screen until the end. Yeah, I'm gonna make that bigger. Oh, yeah.
خالدين
Every one of you takes an example.
والقائمين.
Very good.
ولا الضالين.
No, we're gonna thank you, Junaid, but we are going to go like that, like just in this order. So Qasim.
For me.
Yeah.
ولا الضالين.
ولا الضالين.
ولا الضالين.
عبد الرحمن.
Min Allah.
Very good. Min Allah. Allah. Look at this one. Allah. So the lam is mufakham and the alif after the lam is mufakham. Have you noticed that? So when I write that here, min Allah. So the alif, I can't mark the alif here because it's, with Allah, it's a small alif. So the alif itself, the lam itself is mufakham, and the alif after the lam is also mufakham. Okay, Junaid.
يراؤون.
Make the alif thicker. يراؤون.
يراؤون.
Very good. Sulaiman. I don't hear you.
I think you might be still muted, bro. You need to unmute it.
Bismillah.
Bismillah. So can you explain that for us, Sulaiman? What did we do here?
Oh, it's become light because of the kasrah before the lam.
That is the first part. The other part?
And because the lam is light, the alif is also light.
Very good. Okay. Going back to you, Mash.
قل اللهم.
We don't make that very long. قل اللهم.
قل اللهم.
Wais?
إياك.
Very good. إياك. Very good. Qasim?
من السماء.
Very good. Abdul Rahman?
الناس.
Okay, so as I said, we summarized the rule of the letter alif. Alif follows the state of the letter before in terms of tafkhim and tarqiq. If I have a thick letter, the alif would be thick. If I have a thin or light letter, the alif would be also thick. Sorry, light. Now, just about the shape of the tongue when pronouncing the heavy and light alif, the shape of the tongue, because it's very important when I say, for example, وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ رَا رَا, it's wrong. Ra, because the shape of my tongue is not correct. Or when I say na, na, also the shape of my tongue is also not correct. So with alif, with the light alif, look at the shape of the tongue. It's, how do you call that? It's
Flat.
flat. So my tongue with alif in this, when the alif is light, is flat. When I say ma, my tongue is not flat. It must be like that, ma, 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 ma. And a lot of Quran reciters, they tend to make this imala when they say me, me. Look at the difference now between them. Me, ma, me, ma. So me is wrong. Me is wrong. Why? Because I am descending. I'm tending to go to the position of tafkhim and making imala. Now with the heavy alif, my tongue is in this shape. My tongue in this shape, from the middle in this shape, and from the back is close to the throat. Is close to the throat. Whereas here is far away from the throat. So the heavy alif is combined by curvature in the middle of the tongue. Look at the curve here. And a narrowing in the throat, contrary to the light one. So just in order to differentiate between the light alif and the heavy alif. If we can practice those examples here again, just to take now to interchange between the heavy and the light. Every one of you pick an example, any example. The first example is heavy and the second example is light, and you are going to just any example that you fancy from those examples, and you are going to practice to recite them. The first example is heavy and the second one is thin or light. Okay, Mash.
Min Allah.
Very good.
Iyaka.
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 Very good.
خالدين بسم الله.
خالدين. خالدين. من السماء.
ولا الضالين. قل اللهم.
Junaid.
والقائمين.
You have to make the alif thicker. والقا. Look at the difference now. قا قا والقائمين.
والقائمين and بسم الله.
Okay. Who didn't say anything? Suleiman?
خالدين من السماء.
Very good. Okay. now we summarize also the rule of the letter lam. We are going to have some examples to practice that. So all Arabs make the lam heavy in the name of Majesty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when it's preceded by a fatha or dhamma. Now we are going to practice those examples, starting from you, Mash, again.
Huwallah.
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 Uh-huh.
سيؤتينا الله.
You are now in another order. Uh-huh. But it's fine. Okay. Qasim.
وإذ قالوا اللهم.
You made a mistake. Can you correct this mistake again? With the lam here, you made a mistake.
Did I say I was like? Okay.
Say it again.
قالوا الله.
No, not la. La. When you say la, you are making that thin. وَإِذْ قَالُوا اللَّهُ قَالُوا. And here you have really to be careful, like for all of you. Why you have to be careful here?
If mustadi, if mustaqab.
Huh?
You have two silent alifs.
Pardon, I didn't hear you.
You have those two alifs are silent.
You have two alif silent. What do you mean?
As
Is
in,
it mud?
Lul, 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 lul. You have this alif is muraqqaq. Huh? This alif here is thin. And this alif here is thick. And they are like after each other. Qalu, lu, lul, lul. Do you notice that? You don't say qalul. When you say qalul, you are making both of them thick. Qalul. No, qalul. And that exactly what I mean in differentiating between mufakham and muraqqa. Huh? قالوا اللهم قالوا اللهم. Or some people tend to say قالوا اللهم as Qasim said. So now say it again, Qasim.
وإذ قالوا اللهم.
No, قالوا
قالوا اللهم.
Okay, let's all of us. Let's practice this example. Junaid, would you say the same example, please?
وإذ قالوا اللهم.
Stress it a little bit more with Allahumma. وإذ قالوا اللهم.
وإذ قالوا اللهم.
Very good. Rahman.
وَإِذْ قَالُوا اللَّهُمَّ.
No, direct, like go to it directly. قالوا اللهم.
وَإِذْ قَالُوا اللَّهُمَّ.
Sulaiman.
وإذ قالوا اللهم.
Uwais.
وإذ قالوا اللهم.
قالوا الله.
وإذ قالوا اللهم.
Okay, very good. Let's carry on now with those examples. Qasim, you did that. Junaid.
واذكروا الله.
Okay.
Is that me?
Yeah. The same order. You see the screen, don't you?
I think we all got a different order.
Okay.
Bismillah.
Sulaiman.
أفي الله شك.
Very good. Uwais.
قل اللهم.
Very good. So those are the examples of the lam. Now the shape of the tongue when pronouncing the heavy and light lam. It's also very, very similar to the shape of the tongue when pronouncing heavy and light alif. So with the light alif, with the heavy lam, we have a curve in the middle of our tongue, and also we narrow the throat. Contrary to the light lam, the tongue is flat, and the back of the tongue is a little bit far away from the throat, so we don't narrow the throat. The difference between them in terms of the pronunciation is la, 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 la. So I'm not going to go through the rules of the ra, because we are to the run of time, and the ra has a lot of rules, as you see here. So we have in the case of tafkhim we have 8 rules, and in the tarqiq we have also 4 rules, and we have also in other case, in one case or in 2 cases, we have the option to make it thin or thick, and we are going to cover that inshallah next week. As I said at the beginning of the lesson, unfortunately I'm not able to practice with you today because I have another appointment now, but you are going to practice with the brothers that you choose last time. So Mash, you were with Uwais, Qasim, with Abdurrahman.
Yep.
And Junaid with Sulaiman. Is that right? Okay.
I had Ital. He's not here.
You have to leave.
Unfortunately, I've got to go now as well.
Okay. Would you practice with Uwais then?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, inshallah. And inshallah, next time I will have, inshallah, more time in order to practice with all of
Ahmed,
you.
do you mind making me the host?
Not at all. How can I do that? Okay, I'm just gonna stop recording. Stop recording. Stop sharing. And yeah, Abdurrahman, make it host. Okay, very good. Okay, guys, thank you for attending the class, and Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.